So, folks, can anyone ever trust or believe the Chinese CCP? This is part two. There may be other parts coming. That's the subject of the riff. Right now, the vibes are good in Asia as President Trump's tour is yielding significant trade deals and national security relationships. Stock market loves it. As the Trump boom continues and markets are almost in melt-up mode, profits still the key to the market. But peaceful trade deals are helpful. And when the dust clears, it may be at the effective U.S. tariff rate, something around 15%, which is a pretty low number. And that will help profits. And there's no trade war retaliation, at least not in Asia. So here's a key point. Deals. Deals with Vietnam, Malaysia, Cambodia, and Thailand, all of which include transshipment provisions. This is designed to stop China from routing their cheap exports through these countries in order to hide their unfair trading practices. Very important. In Japan, Mr. Trump seems to be getting along swimmingly with the new Prime Minister, Sanae Takaichi, who has nominated him for a Nobel Peace Prize. Japan's going to buy a lot of Ford 150 trucks. They're going to help the U.S. rare earths. And it also appears that the $550 billion Japanese investment in the U.S. will take place in some way, shape, or form over some period of time. And then there's China. So far, the Chinese story looks to be kind of a return to the future. By that, I mean Scott Bessen's so-called framework includes a suspension of China's rare earth moratorium, perhaps for a year, in which case President Trump presumably will suspend his 100% tariff surcharge. We don't know this for sure. That seems to be in the cards. China's going to resume buying soybeans, whose market price has suddenly jumped to $11 a bushel. Some kind of new deal on fentanyl is being reported. But let me pause here. Beijing was supposed to crack down on the export of various precursor chemicals that produce fentanyl 7 years ago. I was there at the G20 bilateral dinner in Buenos Aires, Argentina, when Mr. Trump raised the fentanyl issue with President Xi as the very first order of business that night. Xi's been saying yes to stopping fentanyl when in fact the reality is no, he never stops fentanyl. And we're going to believe him now? Xi thinks he has leverage with rare earths, but the U.S. has leverage with the largest economy in the world. The U.S. has more leverage because we just obliterated Iran and knocked China out of the Middle East game. The U.S. has even more leverage because the Chinese are being stopped in places like Venezuela and Argentina and perhaps elsewhere in South America. For some reason, Xi thinks Mr. Trump is going to renege on Taiwan independence. Don't bet on that one. But Mr. Trump expects China to stop buying Russian oil, which, of course, is financing the Ukraine war. And if they don't, then presumably secondary sanctions will take all of Chinese commerce out of the dollar system. I guess TikTok's going to be sold. Not my favorite sale. I just see it as one big Chinese spying algorithm, but that's me. And then finally, the U.S. going to launch an investigation of the original U.S.-China Phase 1 deal. Plenty to investigate there because basically it didn't work. China didn't abide by any of it. And that deal was signed almost 6 years ago. I was there for that one, too. Can anyone ever trust or believe the Chinese CCP? I'm just asking again. This part two. There may be other parts coming, and that's my riff. All right.